topic I'm going to introduce today is data architecture. Data architecture is one of a group of architecture disciplines that exist in the digital world. Others include enterprise architecture, solution architecture, and technology architecture. These all borrow a name and a number of very similar activities from the centuries-old profession of architecture relating to buildings. Architecture in the digital world is still comparatively young. It is about creating opportunities and solving problems for the long term. You do this by thinking proactively and holistically about people, processes, data and technology and how they interact together. This allows you to design and plan effective and efficient organisational change to meet business objectives. It's all about the outcomes for the organisation. I often think about architecture in terms of a Rubik's Cube. There are many possible combinations to solve the cube, but as an architect, my job is to line up the right people, process, data and technology layers by moving the squares so they work together as effectively as possible without costing too much or taking too long. There are always compromises to be made. Data architecture has a more specific focus on what data is needed to meet the business outcomes you want, how that data is captured, processed, stored and used, how the data flows in the organisation, what technologies and systems are needed to enable that. Data architecture is done at a high level, looking end to end across an organisation, all the way down to the data structures within physical databases and everywhere in between. It is clear that the importance of and need for good data architecture is only going to increase over the coming years, as data and technology becomes even more ubiquitous with increasing numbers of devices and people constantly interacting with each other. Having enough architects who are able to make sense of and improve this complex world will be vital. Architecture used to be mostly just in larger organisations, but over the last few years, as its benefits have become more understood, it's become much more common in organisations of all sizes and across both the public and private sectors. Data powers the digital world, and skilled data people are and always will be highly valued. Those data architects who can communicate well, can work collaboratively and pragmatically in order to create fantastic data-driven solutions and systems, and to ensure such solutions work to the best of their potential, will play an important role as digital enablement grows and grows across all walks of life. Data architecture is also very transferable across many different industries. Being able to work with subject matter experts within industries to understand and translate their knowledge into data models and data solutions can be a large part of a data architecture role. Data architecture activities are largely undertaken when new products or solutions are being developed. The earlier data can be considered in any such development, the better, and this will result in a much better overall solution. Retrofitting is really tough. Part of a data architect's role is to create views, roadmaps and models for different groups of people across the project team or organisation. Common outputs are communication and decision support tools for the project or organisation, and they need to resonate with and be understandable by each of the different groups involved. While a data architect might be really enthusiastic about all the details of a data model, that won't be the case for most business people. So think about what's important to each different audience. Being able to encourage people along on a data journey is an important skill for a data architect to have. Most people evolve into an architecture role rather than starting their career there. There are more defined career paths now than previously, but it's still a relatively new profession. Learning pathways, often linked to specific technologies such as AWS or Microsoft, which can teach the techniques and lead to certification as an architect, are becoming more available. However, wide-ranging, on-the-ground experience is currently still more valued by employers.